We have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing. There's an added access.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we bring you information that has to do with the United States of Biafra. Information coming from the right source. In this platform, we promote and support the restoration fully and recognition of the United States of Biafra under our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of the Supreme Commander of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabweze, the Deputy Prime Minister. Wherever you are and you're watching this program, I welcome you. Please like and share to all platforms. In this program, we will be continue to show you information that are coming from all angles, more especially things that has to do with the Biafran territory, regardless where it is, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, in the south. We bring it before you so that you can digest it and have a rethink and know where you stand. The only thing that can guarantee our freedom in that contraption called Nigeria is Biafra. It is either Biafra or nothing. And wherever you are, continue to support the United States of Biafra. That is the only way to go. That is the only way you can have good economy and have security. Regardless what you see today, do not get distracted. Do not get bemoved. Continue to stand your ground, to demand for self-determination because it is your right. Do not allow anyone to take away the right to self-determination, the right to self-defense, and the right to life from you. Kindly watch this video for more wisdom. Let's watch.
In his defense, Kanu argued that his advocacy for the self-determination of the Southeast, South-South, and parts of Benue and Kogi states is a constitutional right, not a criminal act. He maintained that freedom fighting is internationally recognized as legitimate and should not be equated with terrorism. Now, speaking after the proceedings, Kanu's special counsel, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, described the hearing as the delayed beginning of a trial, heavily influenced by government pressure. Meanwhile, IPOB condemned the trial, calling it a sham and demanding its immediate end. The group alleged that the legal proceedings are politically motivated and aimed at silencing its leader and suppressing the broader movement for self-determination. We have with us Barrister Darlington Akumwa, who is a political analyst. And virtually, we're being joined by Mr. Eugene Yho, human rights activist, public affairs analyst, political analyst as well. And yes, he will be joining us from our Benin station right there. Well, let's start off with Barrister Darlington, who is with us in the studio. Barrister, let's speak it from the statement made by Nnamdi Kanu, talking about his freedom fighting and fighting for, the states, the regions that he mentioned, Southeast, South-South, some parts of Benue, some parts of Kogi. If you do recall, in times in recent past, we've had people in some parts of the South-South actually dissociating themselves from the IPOB struggle, dissociating themselves from the fight for achievement of Biafra. We've heard people within Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, and have also said, look, I'm not part of this. My people, Ikwere people, are not part of this. We are not even Igbos. With statements like that coming up, does it seem like a lost struggle? Is Nnamdi Kanu deceiving himself in, the struggle for emancipation? Is he trying to emancipate people who do not want to be emancipated?
Moses, I don't think so. Whenever you are pursuing a cause like this, not everybody will be on board. I mean, you will see few people, you know, who will be disgruntled because they don't even know what you are talking about.
But is it possible to compel people to join a struggle? Or let's say the secession is achieved. Can you compel people to be part of a Biafra if that is formed?
Nobody will compel anybody. Let us look at it from the beginning, because this did not just start today. When the Israelites were leaving Egypt, just little obstacle on the way, they started grumbling that they want to go back to Egypt. They started talking to Moses. Why did you bring us from Egypt, where we are eating 3 square meals, this and that? But today, the rest is history. So, when you are pursuing a cause like this, there are people, you know, they don't even know the vision. They don't know what it entails. And so they will disgruntle, but it is a referendum that will decide.
Now,
if the majority say, look, we are for Biafra, and you say you don't want, then leave Biafra land. Leave it. That's just the simple truth. So if the majority say, look, or 80 to 90% of the people, because I don't expect everybody to be 100% on this. It's not possible. So if you now there, you don't agree, then you leave. It's as simple as that.
But Barrister, talking about referendum, in relation to the question Moses asked, parts of Benue Kogi, Nnamdi Kanu has already drawn a map, parts of the South, and these people are saying, no, we don't want to be part of it. If eventually we get to the point where the federal government, the central government, the Nigerian state says, okay, let's conduct a referendum, will it be proper, to solve this problem once and for all, by also extending the referendum or even conducting double, in those areas to say, do you want to be part or don't you want to be part? Is it a track that we could use to solve this problem?
They say when we get to the bridge, we now think of crossing it. If the people that you mentioned are interested, they will ask for it.
No, exactly the point, because we have certain people within those groups saying, no, count us out, we are not part of this.
Yes.
We also have other groups within those groups saying, look, we are in.
It happened in South Sudan.
Exactly. I was trying to mention the Blue Nile and Kordofan and all those areas.
They said no. And today they are regretting it. They are regretting it because the major, the real Sudanese state is now dealing with them. And they are now wondering why they were not part of the South Sudan. So it is their choice. Nobody will force anybody to join Biafra. It's not possible. You can't come and force me to join you. No. If you are comfortable where you are, stay there. After all, when the civil war, we did not compel anybody now. Biafra did not compel anybody. This same area, this Benue Plateau, we are not the one that was even killing Biafrans in numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't force them.
All right, Barrister, we'll come back to you. Let's go to Benin City, where we have Mr. Eugene Yho standing by. Good morning to you, Mr. Eugene.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Nice to be here.
Okay. Now, by the way, Eugene is a human rights activist as well as public affairs analyst. Thanks for coming to VOP this morning. Now, the question is, I don't know if you witnessed the trial of Nnamdi Kanu yesterday, where the witnesses were shielded, from a public view, and Nnamdi surrendered the Radio Biafra materials as evidence before the court and all of that. Now, what do you make of this trial? Do you think it's a legal trial, or do you think it's a political trial by the way it is going? I want you to factor in that, look, Nnamdi had 4 senior advocates of Nigeria added to his team. What do you make of this trial? IPOB has said, look, this trial is a sham because they are trying to more like, suppress the voice of their leader, suppress the agitators for self-determination. What's your broad reaction to this trial in terms of the legal or political perspective?
Yeah, thank you so very much. So for me, it's of course it's not today we've been having these conversations on Nnamdi Kanu, and just to support what the other person said, it's not a crime to break away from any country. We've had countries break away from major countries in the world, right? It's not a crime to break away from any country. However, you can't do this through crisis through violence and inciting elements of conflict in how you go about it. There is a process, there is a guideline, referendum. That is a process to seeking emancipation for your people. I also love the fact that there is one fact that not all Igbos are in support of this cause. In fact, there are some non-Igbos who don't support this cause. There are some non-Igbos who support this cause. So in as much as you want to have a beautiful plan for your people, you must realize that your right also stops where another person's right begins. But for me, this is the idea.
Okay.
Referendum is the process.
Okay. All right, Eugene, let me stay with you. You said that trying to, harass and kill people, trying to get violent is not the right way to go for self-determination. Apparently condemning the track that certain people have used, to agitate for self-determination. Now, when all avenues for peaceful resolution of crisis, grievances, have been closed out to a people, to an ethnic group, what else do you want them to resort to? Or do you expect them to just sit idly by and watch them being decimated by the central states, being marginalized, being taken out of, excluded from the commanding heights of a national life? If all these avenues, like people have said, look, we've had conferences, 1995, 2005, and 2014. 3 conferences, and everything is gathering dust in a drawer somewhere in Abuja. People have said, look, we are marginalized and all of that. Let us talk. Let's sit down and talk. When all these avenues of peaceful means of resolving grievances, like I said, have been closed out, what alternatives are left for a group of people?
For me, it's continuous collaboration, continuous discussions on the matter. Let me give you a little example. I don't see the reason why the eastern states should be going through Monday sit at home. I have never imagined the reason. Why do you just put your people down on a Monday morning just because you don't want them to go to work, because you are pushing for a cause? There are a lot of Igbo persons who are in the helms of power in this state right now. We have many ministers who are Igbos, we have many senators, we have many rep members who are Igbos. And for me, the drive is continuous discussions, continuous engagement to push this cause if you want the pathway. Yes, I understand his Nnamdi Kanu's case is not just a case of legal issues. It's now beginning to take up political dimensions. Of course, we've not had any president who has had a political will to release him.
Okay, I get your drift, Eugene. When you talk about continuous discussion, we see people who are simply waving flags, and they are killed in their numbers by the central government. And you see another group of people who kill others with assault rifles, and nothing is done about them. Do you expect the people who are simply waving flags to keep quiet? That is go back to that question. When all avenues for peaceful means of resolving grievances have been closed out, what alternatives are left for people? Is it continuous discussion? When you are discussing, you are being excluded the further, the more. You are being killed by the central government, by the state itself. What other avenues are left apart from discussions, holding discussions?
Yes, of course. You can't continue to go through. I understand the fact that people have been marginalized, people have gone through a lot of problems just because of this issue. But again, there is an adage in the House of Parliament that says, what peace will not give you, crisis will not give you. So for me, I feel the Igbo nation who want this pathway should continue to make efforts to push this cause. In the Western world, there are people who drive their ideologies through intellectual means. It could be debate, symposium, writing on media, being on just better ways, but not crisis. You understand? Not crisis. I want to tell you, for example, this issue of settlement in the eastern part of Nigeria right now. The Igbos have suffered a lot because of this very thing. People have died over nothing, right? So if you want this pathway for your people, there are better ways of going about this. Referendum is one of the surest ways. Even beyond that is the fact that can we have people who write about these things? Can we have people to talk about better means, legal means of going through this process, not having to kill people because you want to you want to emancipate your people. That's not the right thing. And this is my stand.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Eugene. All right, so Barrister, let me come back to you. Speaking about I know we've had this conversation repeatedly, but as long as it keeps coming up, we'll keep talking about it. The continued seat at home, we all know how it started, and we all know what it's degenerated into. Now, do you think people still willingly sit at home? Do you think they are being compelled to do so? Do you think that is playing in the favor of Nnamdi Kanu, or working against his clamor for a Biafra? If the people feel like, look, their source of livelihood is being affected, their children cannot go to school, some of them have been killed in the process of wanting to defy the seat-at-home order, either be carried out by IPOB or those that have hijacked it. Whatever the case may be, how has this impacted on his struggle and the struggle for, Biafra?
Thank you, Moses. Initially, when this seat-at-home started, it was in solidarity with Nnamdi Kanu's ongoing trial before the federal government, And the Igbos or the Southeastern felt that, look, this young man is being persecuted, not prosecuted. And in solidarity, they said, look, we are going to sit at home to express our grievances, our disagreement with what he's going through. And it continued until some undesirable elements now hijacked it and started doing what is wrong.
So basically, would you say they miscalculated?
No, they did not. They did not. And
well, you think if they had known that it would be hijacked, they would have initiated?
Yes, it was going on smoothly until this thing I told you now happened. And because of that, Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB now said, look, nobody should sit at home again unless and on the day Nnamdi Kanu is going to court for his trial. That is the only day people can now in solidarity say, look, we are staying at home, or some people can even come to court and all that. That is how it was structured. Nnamdi Kanu came out and said it openly, that no more sit at home.
Barrister Darling, do you think that the hijackers, were fifth columnists? Where do you think the hijackers came from?
There are people. Look, it is always the case everywhere. When NSAS happened here, didn't government deploy some ruffians to go and infiltrate the protest?
So are you saying it was government that sent the hijackers?
Who were they working for? Who else could have infiltrated that peaceful protest? No, tell me.
No, we're talking about the hijackers.
It is always like that. Whenever you are pursuing a cause, there is always fifth columnists who will come and play the spoiler. And that was what they did in the Southeast. Okay, look at it this way. When this thing happened, and the federal government brought military or the security agencies into the Southeast, we thought they were coming to bring peace. Moses and Okoro, when they come in, it wasn't not the time that this thing escalated. Unknown government came in. As I read the Kubo now, we did not even know
what. In all of this, how has it benefited the struggle for secession? How has it benefited IPOB? What can they do differently now, seeing that even the people, lives have been lost, properties have been destroyed, either be by the hijackers or the original people that wanted a seat at home. But basically, properties have been lost. Now, traveling to the Southeast is a problem, especially if you have to pass through the Southeast on a Monday. If you have any business there, people would rather say, okay, I don't want to fly on Monday, let me just move into Tuesday. How has this affected, and the struggle, how has it affected the struggle?
It has not affected it negatively. It has not. These are temporary measures or temporary issues that can be overcome. Look, you cannot rule away some of these things. These are, what do I call it now? Collateral damage.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage, yes. You cannot be
the people that you intend to to...
but I mean, it was not the people that are fighting for this self-determination that are causing it now.
Okay,
These
let me pose this question
they brought into the area to cause this damage.
Okay.
And we are taking care of it by now. It has died down.
All right, Barrister, thank you very much. We know that the governors are still struggling to curtail the excesses of groups that have emerged in their bid to enforce a seat at home or to take... Anyway, let me pose this question to Mr. Yho now. Your thoughts on this? Do you think the seat at home, the way it turned out at the end of the day, is adding to, is supporting the struggle or working against it? Do you think a lot more people, especially those who have lost properties and loved ones, will still want to associate with the struggle for emancipation?
Yes, again, it's for me that is a very foolish way of going about the emancipation. You can't, in this age and time, 21st century, you ask people to sit at home because you want to move for your own emancipation. That is completely...
So do you say, are you going to say, or do you think it was a miscalculated attempt to compel governments to do their bidding?
I'm not sure even they can foresee the fact that this decision will have problem or will cause problem to his people. I think I was in Enugu State 2 weeks ago, and on Mondays there is no flight because of sit at home. It's so sad. So right now, even in the minds of students or lecturers or civil servants, Mondays is not work. Nobody goes to work on Monday. You would begin work on Tuesday. Have you imagined the economic regression that has caused the Eastern states just because of this issue? We all know that the Eastern states are very good when it comes to economic issues and how much they are into business. Have you imagined the fact that every Monday in the East, nobody goes to work? In some cases, people even die. Nobody goes to work.
Okay. Eugene, Mr. Yho, let me stay with you. It would be nice to put out here, as a matter of fact, that a lot has changed in the Southeast when you talk about the Monday sit at home. I've used the airport on a Monday to the Southeast. It worked. A lot of people go to work. In Abia State, where I come from, schools are open on Mondays. Exactly. The markets are open on Mondays. Exactly. It's just pockets of places in the Southeast where the sit at home thing is still holding its way. But like 75–80% of the Southeast is free on Mondays. But curiously, people are asking, why is it that on Mondays, the soldiers that were drafted to the Southeast to keep the peace, you don't find them on the streets on Mondays? I wonder. Was that some form of complicity or collaboration? And now, that said, what would be your take on how much the federal government has done? Because at a point, it was this sit at home that escalated and brought insecurity, so to say, in the Southeast. Do you think that the federal government has been very sincere in the way it handled it? Or did they just say, well, it's your problem. If you want to kill yourself, just go ahead and kill yourself? Do you think that federal governments, with all the intelligence available to them, that they did enough to curb or to quell the insecurity in the Southeast by more like looking the other way? When businesses crumbled, more like during in the heat of the sit at home. Like I said, now it has actually thawed. Things have gone back to normal. But within that period, do you think that the federal government did enough?
Yeah, so two things. Of course, in some parts of, like for example, in Enugu, I missed we could not fly on Monday in Enugu Airport. Yes, I experienced it 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah, in as much as in some states in the East, normalcy has been restored. But largely, there's this fear over the fact that a Monday in the East is not really a complete Monday. I understand the fact that some states have been able to drift away from the initial plan, which is and I really commend those persons who have deemed it fit to see that this is not an ideal way of seeking emancipation, and so we want to return back to our work on Monday, which is, in fact, I give them 100%. The other side of the fact that, again, the Nigerian political system it's very funny to believe in. I can't imagine that on Mondays, for example, over time, the government has to pull out security just...
Okay, so sorry, Eugene, I'd like for you to land on the second question that I said, because we are coasting home to end this conversation.
Yes.
Do you think that within the heat of that period, that the federal government, even now, do you think that the federal government has done enough to quell the insecurity in the Southeast after militarizing the area and all of that?
Of course, beyond the Southeast, the Nigerian government has failed when it comes to insecurity. It's so sad. It's so very sad. We can't talk about this. In fact, this we can talk about 1 hour of how much the government has failed us when it comes to insecurity. It's so sad. And that's the reason why, for example, when I saw audio in
All right.
Nigeria, it was so for example, he's telling Nigerians that poverty is a virtue and people should learn the fact that the Pope was.
All right, thank you very much, Eugene.
When he died. It's so sad.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your thoughts there. Barrister, let me ask you this. IPOB have said, look, this trial is a sham. It should be stopped. How would you assess that statement, seeing that the federal government have always, I mean, the federal government have shied away from trial all along, and you know, Nigerians have been calling for trial. If you have anything against the man, try him. And now the federal government is saying, okay, now we want to try, and IPOB is saying the trial is a sham. What do you think? I mean, I know you don't work with IPOB, but you know, as a public affairs commentator, what do you think IPOB is asking for? Release without trial, or trial and prove his innocence?
Thank you very much. You see, let us look at the history of this case briefly. He was arrested first in 2015. Is that not?
Yes.
In one hotel along Airport Road. From that time to 2017, when they invaded his house and he managed to escape, there was no charge on his head, nothing. Are you aware of that? For over 2 years, nothing was, no charge was brought against him. So, what happened? Now, when he managed to escape in 2017, he went into exile. And then, from there to Kenya, where he was a rendition to Nigeria in 2021. Yet, no charge until this thing we are hearing just 2 days ago, abi yesterday. So all this while, you mean they didn't know what charge to bring against him if actually they have something on him? You mean they just arrested Nnamdi Kanu and they were shopping for a charge on his head? Because all the activities of Nnamdi Kanu is in the open.
In your summation, what do you think IPOB is asking?
Of course, they should let him go, because the matter have gone to court, and the appeal court said, look, this man should be let loose. I mean, he should be allowed to go home. Yes, all the 15 count charge, the initial case, could not even hold water in court. That's
so
let
him go without trial.
We trial again. What are you trying him for? When the court have told you that this man have no case to answer. So this one that they brought now is just that let us just do something. Let us do something so that we will not be ashamed of our action.
Is it not?
Remember that the court condemned the action of the federal government. I hope you know.
But the federal government, the federal government have insisted on a trial. Is it not better a trial is held and he's proven innocent? And then if the federal government decides to continue to detain him, then the world will know that yes, there is a lot more to this.
Already, it has happened when the court say he should go, but the federal government still kept him in detention while they were shopping for charge and evidence. The court have told the federal government to allow him to go. What are you not saying?
Barrister, do you think that the federal government wants to correct the mistake they made initially by not letting him go? And maybe probably running through this trial to say, okay, he was found not guilty, let him just go, just to save their face. Are you saying that is what they want to do?
No, they were looking for something that is not there. Like Binta Nyako, who told somebody that, look, she doesn't think that the federal government will sustain any charge against Nnamdi Kanu.
Barrister, how do you think Nnamdi will be let go anytime soon?
He must be let go. I said must. He must be let go. Whether he go through the trial or at the point they say, okay,
is that the analyst in you speaking, or
yes, because
the emotional part of you speaking?
I am looking at it from the legal point of view, because if they had any serious issue against Nnamdi Kanu, they would have done something ab initio. They would have done that. So this other person that they have been pampering and all that, can you compare them with Nnamdi Kanu's activity? The answer is no. So on what basis will you now say he should be,
okay.
sentenced to death.
Okay. Right. Barrister, you think they are just prolonging the trial to keep him there in perpetuity?
I think so, because that's what they do. They break your spirit by putting you in solitary confinement. Yes, that's what the federal government has done so far.
Does he look broken?
Sorry?
Does he look broken?
He doesn't. That's the unfortunate thing, he doesn't.
All right.
The last time he appeared before Binta Yago, you saw how he was even reading the law for them. So he doesn't. I think that's why they say, okay, let us do something. Whether there were people conspiring against him or not, this trial will expose all the shenanigans. Because we are going to deal with law here.
Okay.
Remember, initially, they wanted to try him. But when they discovered that they don't have jurisdiction, because whatever he said it in the UK. And the guy is saying, take me to UK now, where you said I was broadcasting. But they couldn't.
Well, the trial has started.
They couldn't.
They presented the radio equipment in court as well. And,
they only saw equipment, he never broadcast anything here. I hope you know.
They brought the equipment.
They brought they brought the equipment, but he never broadcast anything in Nigeria. That's the fact.
All right then. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what do you think about the video I just played? Go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go through the comment section and I bet you I am learning a lot from there and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much and stay blessed. Don't forget to share and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafran government, peace, progress, unity and equity. We move.